Yo, what's poppin' Pokepals? Rare Boy here, and I'm back with another impossible Pokemon challenge. Today we're gonna find out if it's possible to beat Pokemon Ruby using only a Carbink. The reason why I chose Carbink is because its stats are primarily focused in defense, so it's gonna be interesting to see how it performs in a solo run. Before we can even begin our challenge, I first need to import Carbink's sprite into our version of Pokemon Ruby. Once the sprites are in the game, I then need to edit the game's internal data so this once empty data now functions exactly like a Carbink would. I coded its base stats, TM and HM compatibility, level up moveset, and other essentials so that this data functions exactly like a normal Carbink would. Unfortunately for us though, Carbink is going to be a pure rock type, since Fairy is not a typing in Generation 3. Other than that, this data will function exactly like a normal Carbink would. Now that our Carbink is in the game, let's review the rules of the run. The first rule is that I'm only allowed to use Carbink in battle. We are allowed to capture other Pokemon for HM usage, but they cannot assist Carbink by any other means. The second rule is that I'm not allowed to use items in battle. Held items such as leftovers are okay, but items such as X items or Hyper Potions are banned until the battle has ended. And finally, no glitches or exploits will be used to complete this game. Just a normal playthrough of Pokemon Ruby but with a Carbink. With the rules explained in our Carbink in game, let's jump into some gameplay. The first thing that I do is pick up Carbink from Professor Birch's bag. For this run, I replace Torchic so our rival takes Mudkip for even more of a challenge. I nickname our little stalagmite Half-Life. I take a look at her stats and she has a naughty nature, which means more attack but less special defense, which I'm perfectly okay with. With Half-Life on the team, it's time to conquer the Hoenn region. I try to cheese my way through Roxanne's fight with Sharpen and Harden, but we not only get out-muscled, but we still dealt underwhelming damage at level 11. I have to come back at a higher level. At level 20, I walked right back in there after learning Flail and Ancient Power, and with these two adjustments, I tried my strategy again, and it pays off this time around. I am nervous about Brawly now that we don't have our Fairy type to protect us. So, I took on Brawly at level 22, and we actually wound up winning to my absolute surprise. Not only did we outspeed Brawly's Pokemon, but Machop never landed a crit on us with Karate Chop, which would have easily taken us out. I made sure to Sharpen and Harden to match Machop's bulk ups, and by the time we were down to 6 HP, I had enough attack buffs to sweep with Flail. Sweet! I try to take on May straight away, but Shroomish is our biggest issue as he paralyzes us and leech seeds us before going down. Because of this, Marshtomp is able to outspeed us and start biting, which leads to our demise. I'll have to come back when I can OHKO Shroomish with Ancient Power. I tried May again at level 31, but for some odd reason, her Marshtomp only went for Bide this time around, as I was able to max out my attack with Sharpen and OHKO Marshtomp and Numel with 1 Ancient Power each. Okay then. Anyone who has been watching this series for a while now knows how much I grotesque this fight against Watson. But thanks to one Sharpen boost and our newly learned Rock Slide, we were able to defeat Watson with just 2 HP and while being paralyzed. What a lucky fight, and I couldn't be happier. Our first fight against Team Magma leader Maxie was an absolute joke as we swept his team with Rock Slide. Hopefully Flannery goes this smoothly. Well, my suspicions are thankfully correct as we completely swept Flannery with nothing more than Rock Slide. It's Daddy Norman time, and thanks to Slacking only being able to attack every other turn, we had plenty of time to set up 6 Sharpens and then sweep his team with Rock Slide. If his AI was smarter and kept putting us to sleep with Yawn, he might have had a better chance, but between our typing and massive defense, this fight was all in our favor. Our final May fight was brutal as we get poisoned turn 1 by Shroomish, and the poison along with Marshtomp's Mud Slaps are enough to whittle us down. Huh, was not expecting that, like, at all. On my second attempt, I set up 1 Sharpen and quickly turned the tide of the battle. Sharpen has absolutely clutched this playthrough, but I don't intend on keeping it for the endgame. Went on a time, and while this seems like a very easy fight, Her Skarmory has me worried, so I took this first turn to set up a Sharpen, and with that minor boost we were able to two-shot Skarmory and Pelipper and OHKO the rest of her team. Up until now this run has been fairly easy, but I predict it's going to get very difficult from here. So, Tate and Liza were an absolute shroomish show, as we don't have anywhere near the firepower we need to defeat them. I'll have to come back at a later level. I went back into their fight at level 64, and Lunatone was still a potential issue with Hypnosis and Calm Mind, but thanks to getting it into healing range, I was able to set up another Sharpen, which was enough to take out Soul Rock, and with the flinch from the same Rock Slide, it was enough to take out Lunatone on the next turn. Our final fight against Maxie was underwhelming. The only member of his team who could have dealt any major damage to us was Camerupt, but he wasted his only attacking turn using Amnesia. With Maxie defeated, we awaken the mighty Groudon. We try to spare Groudon by running away, and he accepts our offer on one condition. He had to land a massive earthquake on us for waking him up, which Half-Life thought was a fair trade. I seriously thought Wallace was going to be a brick wall for us, but because Love Disc couldn't really do much to us, we were able to set up enough Sharpens to deal massive damage to his team. We didn't OHKO Milotic or Whiscash, but we managed to paralyze both of them with Secret Power to take them out untouched. At the end of Victory Road is a Wally fight, but as always it's just Wally who gets literally swept by our Carbink. Such a waste of programming, this kid. Here's a look at our Carbink just outside the Elite Four, and these stats are pretty good. I also equipped it Half-Life with the Silk Scarf, and replaced Secret Power with Return for even more power. If you haven't figured it out yet, our hidden power typing is Ground, which is phenomenal considering Carbink can't normally learn Earthquake. I know I said before I wouldn't rely on Sharpen, but after seeing how weak we are, I think Sharpen has become a necessity. I just hope this is enough to beat the Elite Four. Our first opponent in the Elite Four is Sydney, and after one Sharpen, we were able to sweep his team under the rug and proceed with the challenge. I have to say, Carbink is surprisingly fast for our rock type considering we outsped a Sharpedo. Phoebe's fight was absolutely ridiculous because I knew we could win at this level, but it was just a matter of everything falling into place. First off, we couldn't get cursed by Phoebe's lead Dusclops, and we had to bust through Confusion because Dusclops loves going for Confuse Ray. Then we had to set up two Sharpens because one isn't enough to OHKO Dusclops. Once the first Dusclops was down, the second one was a similar issue, but this time this one has Earthquake, so we get hit hard by the second Dusclops. Once those two threats were down, we couldn't miss any of our Rock Slides, or else any of Phoebe's other Pokemon could have easily taken us out. After about 50 resets, we got this run where everything happened according to our plan and we pulled out a tight victory. Glacier's fight was a 50-50 matchup because we are weak to each other, but thanks to us not missing a single Rock Slide, we defeated her on our first try. But just look at how much damage Walrein did to us with one Surf. If he got a crit, we probably would have lost this, which is insane. Despite losing our Fairy typing, Drake was still a very easy fight. His main gimmick is stat drops, but thanks to our Clear Body ability, we were immune to his shenanigans. Not only that, but he also leads with a weak Shelgon, which we use to set up on and then sweep his entire team. Here it is, ladies and gentlemen, the final fight against Steven Stone. I have to say, we did pretty well for our first attempt. Our moves were just shy of OHKOing a few of his Pokemon, so if I can set up another Sharpen or two, this might be doable at this level. Well, it took a few attempts to get our 4 Sharpens off a Skarmory, but once I did, I steamrolled through Steven's entire team until I got to Metagross, who withstood a hidden power Ground and slammed us hard with Meteor Mash, leaving us with only 8 HP before we could bring him down with another one. With this victory, we register Carbink into the Hoenn Hall of Fame and prove to the world that it is possible to beat Pokemon Ruby using nothing more than a Carbink. This challenge was a lot easier than I was initially intending. I thought that with the low attack stat, it would be challenging, but even if I didn't use the sharpen tactic, I could have always used calm mind strats. So Carbink is never lacking in setup options. For my next impossible challenge, we're going to find out if we could beat Pokemon Ruby using only a Yamask. Yes, that's right, we're doing Ruby again, but that's because I felt like this challenge was a little too easy for Ruby. So if you don't want to miss that run, be sure to subscribe and stay tuned. Also, be sure to leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it, and in the comments section I want to know what your favorite part of today's run was. This has been your boy Rare Boy, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace!
Red, white, and blue, yeah, I love this place.
Excuse me, did you just watch this video? You must have if you made it this far into the video. And yet you haven't liked, commented, shared, or subscribed. The Rare Boy working very hard on these videos. Please do the man a favor.